In this video, we're going to look more into the Ripple global explosion. Let's go.
And now, the XRP Minute with Chip on the chain.
Chip here with the XRP Minute. If it's your first time here, please like, subscribe, click that notification bell. That way you get notified anytime Jeff or I drop a video. Also, there's a link below to our live channel. We stream 6 days a week. Now, let's dive in head first into the shallow end for maximum impact. Ripple is just going crazy when it comes to global expansion, and it's an explosion. Ripple-supported companies launch banking apps in Switzerland and the Philippines. So you have Temenos and Swissquote. They both initiated collaborations to launch separate banking apps both in Switzerland and the Philippines to their local customers. Temenos has integrated Ripple Tech and the Swissquote bank and trading platform. They recently added XRP for trading. So Temenos cooperates with big Filipino commercial bank. That's PBCom, which is known as Philippine Bank of Communication. Among the biggest the commercial banks in the Philippines, they partner with Temenos to launch the PBCo mobile app, which will offer a digital-first services and products to its clients. And this new digital banking app uses Temenos Transact banking software as a service. The bank offers deposits as well as loans and for individuals and businesses and cash management, etc. And they put out this tweet that PBCom goes live with Temenos software as a service to offer you these digital service banking first, powered by our tech. It's the first mobile banking service of PBCom. So that's pretty interesting. And then we have Swissquote. They're launching their banking app on May 11th. Banking app and online trading platform located in Switzerland, launching a new digital banking app together with Post Finance, a subsidiary of the Swiss Post, and deals with financial services. Collaboration of these companies was announced back in late fall last year. Now they plan to release this new mobile app. So both companies are well established in the Swiss financial services industry, and they both intend to offer fresh approaches when it comes to mobile banking in their country. And then we have this story right here. This is Ripple adding some new hires, which I think is somewhat interesting. You've got Ripple, who is basically adding to their board former U.S. Treasurer, and they say among the legal fight here, but this is, they still calling it a blockchain startup. I think when you pass like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you're not no longer a startup anymore. You're kind of if you're a $10 billion company, you're really established. And they appointed Rosie Rios to its board, and she was the 43rd treasurer of the U.S. She served under President Barack Obama, and she joined the board of directors. It also hired Christina Campbell, which we'll get into in a little bit, who has an impressive background as well. She says, I've dedicated my career to financial inclusion and empowerment, which requires bringing new and innovative solutions to staid processes. She said in a statement, Ripple's one of the best examples how to use cryptocurrency in a substantive and legitimate role to facilitate payments globally. And if you're noticing a lot of the same sort of buzzwords going on, you hear about inclusionary words, you hear about sustainability. This is all trying to attempt to contrast, in both Ripple, the company, and XRP, the digital asset. And obviously they go into what Ripple's known for. And I'm going to get into this other part. Yeah, her experience in the public and private sectors provides an invaluable perspective to Ripple, especially during this time in the industry works to define crypto's future. And as you know, this SEC lawsuit is going to help define the future. And Brad Garlinghouse basically said that statement. He says, we're extremely fortunate to have them on the team as we continue our rapid international growth. And man, Ripple global explosion. Are they ever expanding? And they're going to champion for regulatory clarity in the U.S., and they always have. Ever since the beginning, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, everybody on the team there has been talking about regulatory clarity. And this is an interesting article because I want to pull this quote right here. Look at this. So I like Alex Dobenya. He's a solid writer. I read a lot of his stuff. He says, the woman who was once responsible for signing U.S. banknotes is now sitting on Ripple's board of directors. Let that sink in a little bit. When you used to take a banknote, right, a fiat currency, and you would look at it, had her signature on it. Now, I think this is just a remarkable full circle coming back to going from fiat all the way to the crypto. I think it's just nothing short of just phenomenal. And it rehashes a lot of the same stuff. I wanted to just read that one pull quote. Here we go right here. This is the official sort of like announcement on Ripple's site. They talk about obviously the former treasurer, Rosie Rios, to the board of directors, and also Christina Campbell as the chief financial officer. So this is pretty exceptional as well. I want to get down here to this little bit here and talk a little bit about Christina Campbell. She's going to drive Ripple's financial strategy, accelerate growth, deliver value to shareholders, and business momentum. It continues to grow globally. So you're seeing this significant growth, right? The Ripple global explosion that's happening. You see that Garlinghouse made a statement that 90% of XRP is used outside of the US. And now we're seeing this explosion just with different companies and hires. It's incredible. So here we says their strategic vision combined with the focus on building fantastic teams and operational excellence has resulted in a significant success for the businesses she's worked on. And she previously was the CFO over at Payoneer Me, and both businesses and the teams grew substantially. That's kind of her MO, her modus operandi. She is really successful at building solid teams. Oh, you might ask, what kind of a team would you be if you're a chief financial officer? Well, you might build a solid team if you're planning on going public at one point, right? Putting a team together and potentially looking to do an initial public offer. Just a little bit of speculation there, but if you have somebody who's successful with building amazing teams in the financial sector, that's what you're going to do. Prior to Ripple, she had 7 roles at Green Dot, now a 2.5 public fintech company, including GM and GoBank. Then let's cross over here. This is her LinkedIn profile right here. And if we look at it, we will see, yeah, we'll see exactly that. So check out her background here. She came out of Stanford University back in the early 90s. She did her BA there, and then she did her Master's of Business Administration or MBA at Harvard Business School. This is a solid phenomenal background here. Then she was the VP of Saybrook Capital in the 2000s. She did that for a little bit. Then she went on to work for Bain. If you guys don't know Bain, it's one of the probably biggest and well-known companies out there. Bain and Company. You might know it through someone's name. Some bigger names out there too that also were at Bain as well. She dealt a lot with mergers and acquisition, evaluating particular mergers and acquisition. That's interesting to have if you're going to be joining this as a chief financial officer, if you already have a lot of that M&A experience. And also, too, we've got Avery Dennison. She spent a couple years there, a year and 2 months. And again, if you look at her background, look what she's known for. You can start drawing some parallels. And of course, here we have I know X went to Dane, but she also went to Green Dot as well. Let me load this up here. Yeah, she went to Green Dot. There she is. And sometimes when you zoom in on this stuff, it gets a little bit wonky, but there she was right there. So from 2016 to 2021, almost 5 years. Also in California, there's Payoneer Me. Then she spent almost 6 years over at Green Dot. She managed all aspects of their bank checking account businesses. So she's got extensive banking background, extensive business background, building teams, putting together, both as a VP, as I think she was here, director of corporate strategy, managing. You see all of her management experience. She's really a phenomenal hire for Ripple. Then we get into this right here. We say Russia is ready to leave SWIFT, plans to join Iran SEPM, right? So this is an interesting sort of a turn of events as well. I imagine we're probably going to see a bigger migration with a lot of countries out there pretty much getting out of SWIFT. Why? Because SWIFT is a centralized type of a scenario, and the U.S. can stop the banking and basically hold back stuff from Russia. So let's watch this. This is gonna be a trend, I have a feeling. Then we had this from PolySign. PolySign, as you know, kind of a little bit, I would say, kind of under the radar over there, but they're announcing their subsidiary that Standard Custody received its charter to operate under New York State banking law as a regulated qualified custodian for financial institutions. This is big because you can count almost everybody who's gotten this type of a banking on one hand, right? So this is the official press release right here that came out. And They basically said this: the charter from the New York State Department of Financial Services enables standard custody to serve investors in compliance with the rigorous security measures required for institutional grade service, enabling us to bridge traditional financial services to help grow an ecosystem where digital assets thrive. And that's a nice win right there, especially New York. We know how tough it is breaking in there. Stuart Alderati put this out. There was a tweet here from Roll Call. They basically said that cryptocurrency experts are watching a legal battle between Ripple Labs and the Securities and Exchange Commission, anticipating the case could establish precedent and clarify the regulatory landscape for digital coin offerings. And he commented saying this: it's increasingly obvious to many in the industry that the outcome of this case, the SEC v. Ripple, and what is learned along the way, that's very important, will set a precedent for crypto innovation in the U.S. Great analysis from Roll Call. So he was really liking the article. He really enjoyed it. This is the article right here in rollcall.com. Obviously, it's seen as a precedent, and it's funny that it took someone like Roll Call to look at this, because a lot of people in the crypto industry aren't really paying attention, right? They think that cryptocurrency, as far as when it comes to Bitcoin or ETH, are in the clear, and that's not the case at all. So they say that these cryptocurrency experts, they don't really define who the experts are. But look, this is a case being watched very clearly. They talk about the fact that Ripple scored some wins early on the preliminary rulings with the federal court, including gaining access to internal SEC docs and shielding its executives' personal bank records from discovery. Holders of Ripple's XRP cryptocurrency at issue in litigation were also granted. Those wins don't necessarily foreshadow a victory for Ripple. I 100% agree with that. It's a significant case. Drew Hinks said he's a lawyer at Carlton Fields, PA in Miami. He works a lot on cryptocurrency matters, but he said in an interview with Roll Call that Ripple has a tremendous financial resources. And we've talked about this before, that they've assembled the best attorneys out there. They have this amazing team of well-respected attorneys, and probably attorneys that have participated in the most high-profile products in the industry. So this is something, obviously, the whole world outside is also looking at right here. And you're going, okay, Chip, what is that? Okay, this is the tweet by Emi Yoshikawa. She, obviously, if you don't know her, she runs, or her exact title is here, but she basically runs, I think it's product over here. Let me look at here to see. She was recently interviewed by the Center in Korea about Ripple's sustainability efforts. She's corporate strategy and operations over in Asia. But it's interesting. I'm pulling this out here for one thing. It's a very good read. Obviously, we're talking more about the sustainability. It's in line with a lot of thinking of a lot of centralized governments like the United States, where they have these green initiatives. So they're getting on board and in the good graces of those folks. And then we have here, so one of the things I thought was interesting here is this line right here, and I'm not going to be able to blow it up, but it says Ripple. This is the translated version, but it says, more or less, it says they're convinced the SEC will, it's convinced the SEC will not win the lawsuit. Plan B is envisioned. The translation's a little bit off there, but basically saying that they will not win the lawsuit. They have a plan B in case it comes down to a plan B. Goes on to talk about the infrastructure, and but there's one other thing that I wanted to pull out here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I just want to go down there where they talk about the SEC. There's so many SECs here. Let's look down here. Let's go. Yeah. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Not a big deal. But anyway, it's interesting. It's a good article if you want to read it. Just go check out her Twitter feed. You can go there, and you can obviously translate the article over on Google. And this was really cool. This was a very cool thing right here from Chung Fan, who I always, you see me probably put a lot of stuff up here. But he was saying it reminds him a little bit of Felix Dennis's Wealth List. This was in $2006, so maybe some wiggle room on the numbers. But I kind of like this because I kind of think this is going to apply to the crypto crowd. The comfortable poor will be around the 100,000 to 400,000 range. We got the comfortably off will be between the $400 and $1 million range. The comfortable wealthy will be somewhere in the $1 million to $2 million range. The lesser rich, the $2 to $10 million. The comfortably rich, 10 to 30 million. filthy rich from 30 to 70 million. You got the seriously rich. These are the serious players, 70 million to 100 million. And then the truly rich, 1 to 200 million. And then anything over 200 million, that's filthy rich. That's filthy rich, super rich, sick rich, whatever you want to call it. Then we had this right over here. Where's the, let's see, let me have this. This is interesting. So if you're wondering what to do with your time, you're wondering what's going to work and what's not going to work, here you go. There's a kid here. He's got a YouTube channel. He basically is on video of him studying up to 12 hours a day. Yeah, that's right. It's awesome. Some videos have 2.4 million views. Nobody in our space has videos that get 2.4 million views. Maybe one of us will put up something where we'll be showing researching, right? Just watch us research stuff, write stuff down, and that'll be the video. I've noticed that this a ton, study rooms. Huge trend. What businesses are popping up out there? And this is from Sam Parr. And I thought that was interesting because, basically in this sector, in the YouTube sector, we're all, we do a little bit of research. We find articles that are interesting. How would you feel about that? Let me know your take down below. Would you be into something like that? Watching us YouTubers research stuff? Is that something that would be exciting? Or would that be one of the most boring things you could possibly think of? Now, watching a kid study all day doesn't seem interesting, but 2.4 million views on a video, that certainly is worth, talking about. That's my take. I want to know yours. If it's your first time here, like, subscribe. I want to know your take down below. That's all I got. Chip out. I'll see you on the next one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.